Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we are going to start chapter number 5, that is functionalization of alkene, and it is part 1 in which we will discuss hydroboration reactions, and then we will take a very important part, that is reaction of organoboranes which are formed after hydroboration. So first we will take what is hydroboration. Hydroboration means you need borane compounds and these boranes react with alkenes to give you your organoboric compounds. So first we will take what are the key points. So first key point is this reaction is stereospecific, and then second point is this involves syn addition of hydrogen and boron part to the double bond, right? Third important point is hydroboration is done on less hindered carbon, right? For example, if you have this type of alkene and you are using suppose BH3 in THF, so this boron BH3 is electron deficient in nature, right? That is why it attacks on electron rich double bonds. Double bonds are nucleophilic in nature, so they attacks on them. Then next point is it is syn addition, means H will attach on this carbon and BH2 part will attach on this carbon, and these two will attack from the same side, right? Then hydroboration on less hindered carbon means when we are attaching H here, then this BH2 part will go on less hindered carbon, right? And because these two are syn addition, that is why methyl will go above the clean side. So in this way you can use this organoboranic compound in further reaction. For example, suppose I am reacting it with H2O2 in presence of NaOH, then this part will be converted into OH. You will get alcohol. So we will see these reactions, that how we can convert these organoboranic compounds into different compounds. We will see that type of reactions a little bit later. But first we will understand that what type of variations can be possible in this hydroboration reaction. So these all points are very simple, we know all about them. Then we can have different type of boranes, right? You have heard the name of decimyl borane. So this decimyl borane is formed when you react this type of alkene with B2H6, right? So what you will get here, that one H will attach here and this carbon will attach with this left part of boron, right? Just suppose it is BH2, because we are adding only one hydrogen, so this part should be attached with BH2, but it will further react with this part, and we have here two molecules of this and we have here BH, right? So this one is called your decimyl borane. It is C5H11 whole twice BH. Next type of borane can be possible is hexyl borane. So it will form when you react this alkene with B2H6, right? So you will get only one molecule of it will react and you will get your hexyl borane. Then we can have 9-BBN. 9-BBN has a structure of this type, right? And it is formed when we react cyclooctadiene with this B2H6. So these all boranes are very hindered in this structure, so they are less reactive, but they are more selective, right? So this point is very important. And next important thing is that we can recognize all these type of boranes. Then we will take selectivity in hydroboration reaction. So here I will give you some important point, and using these point you can identify that which alkene will participate in hydroboration when you have more than one double bond in a molecule. So first point is that terminal alkenes react more rapidly than internal alkene. So when you have terminal and internal alkene in a molecule, then you have to give preference to your terminal alkene. Then next point is Z alkene react more rapidly than E alkene, right? So we have this example in which we have two type of alkenes here. This one is your internal alkene and this one is your terminal alkene, right? So we have seen here that terminal alkene will participate preferentially. So what will happen? One H will attach on this carbon and this carbon will attach with this 9-BBN, right? So we will get this type of structure which can further participate in a reaction. Then we can have one more type of boranes also, that is halogenated boranes. So when you have halogenated boranes, they will show same type of reaction as we have seen in type of normal borane compound, that hydroboration will be done on less hindered carbon. That is true for them also. But when you have more substituted double bond and mono substituted double bond in a same molecule, then these halogenated borane preferentially react with more substituted double bond, which is just opposite of normal boranes, right? So we have here one alkene in which this double bond is disubstituted here, and this one is mono substituted. So if we are using a halogenated borane like this, right, so it will attack on more substituted double bond, but hydroboration will be done on less hindered carbon. You will get this type of organoborane. But if you are normally using your boranes like decimyl borane, then it will attack on less substituted double bond. So you will get this type of product, right? So these points are very, very important. Then we will move to some difficult parts, that if you have, suppose this type of example, that here I have a double bond which is disubstituted and this one is mono substituted, and this time we are using catechol borane. This is called catechol borane, and we also have here a rhodium complex. So catechol borane is very hindered in structure, so it is very less reactive. So whenever we are using it, we need high temperature conditions. In absence of this complex, in absence of a metal complex, it reacts at very high temperature. But if we use this rhodium complex, this reaction can take place at room temperature, right? That is why we are using this rhodium complex, and most of the time this Wilkinson catalyst is used, right? And in case of this catechol borane, it will also attack on less substituted double bond. We have seen in case of halogenated boranes that they will attack on more substituted double bond, but in case of catechol borane, it will attack on less substituted double bond, that is this one, not on this one, this one, right? But we are using here a rhodium complex, that is why this example is also important, that in exam they will give you such type of reagents and you may get confused that what type of reaction will take place. So that is why it is here that it is used to decrease the reaction temperature. So we will get this product, right? Because we are using here H2O2 and NaOH in the reaction, that is why this boron part is converted into OH. So we will see that how we can convert organoboranes in different type of functional groups. We will see it little bit later. Then we have here a different type of example in which we have here a allylic group present. This is your allylic alcohol. So two type of reactions can be possible in such type of examples, that they are simply doing your hydroboration, that is in presence of 9-BBN there is simple hydroboration reaction. And second possibility is in the hydroboration reaction we are using this rhodium complex, right? So we have seen here that it is used to decrease the reaction temperature, and in case of two double bonds, two type of double bonds, only mono substituted or less substituted alkene will participate in this reaction. But this time we have here allylic alcohol, and the question comes about stereochemistry of your product. So whenever you are using normal hydroboration reactions using organoboranes, different type of organoboranes, then allylic alcohol will give you anti-product as a major product. Anti-product means your OH is suppose attaching above the plane side, then this R part will go below the plane, right? In that condition it will be your anti-product, right? And on this carbon, this boron part will attach, and on the use of H2 alkaline H2O2 it will be converted into OH, right? So this is very important, then when you are doing hydroboration of allylic alcohol without using metal catalyst, then NT product is major product. Suppose it is 83% and your syn product is 17%. So you can write down this part that in absence of metal catalyst, hydroboration of allylic alcohol will give you NT product. Then if you have a metal complex, in addition to hydroboration you are using a metal complex like rhodium metal complex, then you will get syn as major product, right? So it is very important that whenever you have allylic alcohol, when you are doing hydroboration of allylic alcohol, so be very careful that you have rhodium complex in the reaction or not, right? Then we will take up one very important thing, that is hydroboration of aryl alkenes. So we can have different type of condition in this reaction, that we are doing normal hydroboration reaction using BH3, or we can have rhodium complex, neutral rhodium complex, or we can have cationic rhodium complex. This is cationic part, right? And we can have cationic rhodium complex in addition to this R binep, right? So 4 different possibilities can be there in this reaction. So first we will try to check out our general understanding, that when we are doing hydroboration reaction and after hydroboration reaction we are doing we are using alkaline H2O2, right? So what is the possibility that there is syn addition of this BH3 part to this double bond, H will attach here and your BH2 will go here, right? Then you will use H2O2 and NaOH, so OH will attach here, right? So you will get primary alcohol as a major product, right? This is your major possibility. So when you are using this BH3 in THF, you will get 82% primary alcohol, and there is also possibility that you will get secondary alcohol in case of aryl alkenes, and this percentage is 18%. So this is our major product and we can easily do such type of reaction. But when we have rhodium catalyst, neutral rhodium catalyst, the same thing will happen, only the reaction rate is increased, and if you are using hindered structure like catechol borane, the reaction temperature can be decreased using this rhodium catalyst complex, right? So we will get 90% primary alcohol and 10% your secondary alcohol, right? But if you are using this cationic rhodium complex, this case is just reversed, means you will get less than 1% your primary alcohol and secondary alcohol will be your 99% product. So it is very important that you can also have cationic rhodium complex, and if you are using R binep, then you can assign the attachment side of this OH group also, means you will get this type of product as major product, right? So that is why this example is very important. And what is the reason behind their different type of selectivity? Then to understand these things, I read the papers given by research paper given in this Carruthers book, and all the papers are based on the experimental studies, means they are using different type of catalyst and then they are getting different type of product, right? And if you want to go in detail of NMR studies and all that, then you will get some confusion, and that is not required for NET examination, right? So you can simply understand the point which can help you in solving out your problems. That is why I have only written that which type of complex, which type of reagent will give you which type of product, and when the explanation is required, I will give you that point also. Next we will come to a different type of organoborane, that is, it is given this IPCBH2. IPC is isopinocamphonyl borane. So what is the structure of it? So this is the structure of this monoisopinocamphonyl borane, right? And it is formed when we react alpha pinene with boranes, right? So you can have mono-isopenocamphenyl borane or you can have di-isopenocamphenyl borane in the reaction. These IPC boranes can be plus or minus type, right, depending upon the type of alpha-pinene used in their formation. Alpha-pinene can be positive and negative, then depending upon the use of alpha-pinene they can also be positive and negative. So what is the use of it? It helps us to determine the stereochemistry of our OH group attached, right. It is used to synthesize optically active alcohols. So we will see this reaction, that how we can use it, right. So here we have one double bond, so this part will attack on this, we know syn addition, and this borane part will attack on less hindered carbon, means on this one. So in first step what we will get, so suppose your H is attaching below the plane and this boration is also on less hindered carbon, so this alkyl group will go above the plane side, right. Then in next step we are using H2O2 in presence of NaOH, right. So this part will be converted into OH group. Then if in this reaction we are using acidic hydrolysis, then this H will attach with this OH and it will form OH2, right. So there will be elimination reaction, and one H from this carbon or from this carbon can be removed, right. So we can have two type of double bonds here, one is present at this position and second possibility is it is on this carbon, means this type of double bond, right. We can have these two possibility, and this acetal part will be removed using this H plus, right. We can this reaction is very simple, that first step this will attach with H plus, right, this bond will break, when H2O will attack on this bond will break, and in second step what will happen, that I am directly showing this reaction here, that it will form OH, and here you have OH attached because H plus will be removed, so we have H here, then in OH here, then in next step H plus will again attack on this oxygen, so it will form this OH, right, and then a lone pair of electron will shift here and this part will be ethylene glycol will be removed, and we have here ketonic group attached. And out of these two, this one is your major product 85% and this is only 15%, because this compound is showing conjugation, this double bond alpha beta unsaturation is there, or you can say conjugation is there, that is why this one is your major product. So in this way you can have different type of reaction using this hydroboration. Then we will move to reaction of organoboranes, that how we can use the organoboranes formed in hydroboration reaction for further reaction. First point is very simple, that we are doing protonolysis, and this protonolysis is done in presence of carboxylic acid generally. For example, in this case first we are doing its hydroboration, means you will get this type of product, and then you are using this carboxylic acid, so this part will be removed and you will have H attached here, right. So this is very easy. Then second possibility is that we are using alkaline H2O2, that we have seen in various reactions that we are using it, that it will convert your organoborane into alcohol. So we will see this example first. So in first step what will happen, that we will get a organoborane like this, then we are using H2O2, so it will be converted into alcohol group, right. Then in this case we are using this thiaxyl borane, H2O2 and NaOH. So reaction is very simple, but you may get sometimes confusion, that first step will be, suppose H will attach on this carbon and I am attaching it, suppose this methyl will go above the plane side, H will attach below the plane side, and on this carbon, on this one, this rest part of this borane will attach, suppose I will consider it as R, right, it will attach like this. This is your triflate group, it will go like this as it is, as it was in the starting. So when I am attaching this, suppose it is going below the plane and it will go above the plane, and it is also going above the plane because it is syn addition, right. And on this carbon we have OH. Same thing will happen here, that this methyl will go below the plane, or you can say that there is syn addition, that is why these two group will go on the same side, right? Then what we are doing, we are simply rotating this carbon. If you see this example in the book, that you will get different type of configuration, because this bond is rotated, and when we will rotate it, then this part will go below the plane, right? So what type of structure you will get? This group will go like this, and this group, this BHR, which on reaction with this H2O2 and NaOH will become OH, will go below the plane, because we have rotated this carbon. That is why we are getting this type of configuration, right? So in this way you can use alkaline H2O2. In addition to alkaline H2O2, you can have different type of reagents here, that you can have sodium perborate, oxone. Oxone is this one, right? So you can have different type of reagents in addition to this one, right? Then we will take third type of reaction of this organoborane in presence of PCC, right? Pyridine chlorochromate. So when we are doing first hydroboration of this alkene, so you will get this type of structure, and when you are using this PCC, it will form aldehyde group. So PCC will convert your alkene into aldehyde or ketone, right? And in addition, and you can also have sodium chromate in presence of H2SO4 for this reaction. It will also give you aldehyde or ketone, right? Then fourth type of reaction is, the next possibility is that you can have NH4OH in presence of NaOCl. So simply first you have to do hydroboration. You can attach any of the carbon, this BH2 part, then you are using this NH4OH in presence of NaOCl. So amine group will attach here, right? Then we will see one more example of formation of this amine, that you may have a aryl alkene, and first you are supposed treating it with this catechol borane in presence of cationic rhodium complex, right? So we know that when we are treating in presence of cationic rhodium complex, we will get secondary alcohol, that we are treating it with cationic rhodium complex, and we have Grignard reagent in the reaction. We are not reacting it with this H2O2 and NaOH, so we will not get alcohol attached here, right? We will get here this borane part, but because we are treating it with this Grignard reagent, so it will be converted into Me2, BMe2. Then we can use a complex, a reagent like this NH4OH in presence of NaOCl, or we can have this type of reagent. So we will get amine group attached here, right? Next we will take fifth type of possibility, for fifth type of reaction of organoborane, that is reaction with azide. Here I am using a borane, and then we are treating it with this HCl. So first we will see that what is the possibility. We have this double bond, it will participate in reaction. This is more hindered carbon, so this part will attach on this less hindered carbon. So organoboration will take place on this carbon. So I am just writing here R2 group, right? And it is your azide part. So I can also write it down like this. So this boron, this nitrogen is rich in carbon, so it will attack on this electron deficit boron, right? You will get this type of structure, and this B will become negatively charged. Then in next step we are using this H plus, so this nitrogen will attach with this proton and this bond will break, right? So I am directly writing here that you will get this type of structure. Then Cl released in this reaction will attack on this Br2 part, and it will attack on this. Then this carbon, this bond will break, and this carbon will attack on this nitrogen, and this nitrogen part will be removed. So what we will get here, so we will get here a 5-membered ring like this. Then sixth reaction is hydroboration in presence of CO. This is very important reaction, that when we are using CO, that in starting suppose we have this type of organoborane, and we are using CO in the reaction. So this CO is inserted in this organoborane. So first is migration of one alkyl group like this. There is migration of one alkyl group from boron to this carbon, right? In second step, one more R will migrate to this carbon like this, and this oxygen will combine with this boron to maintain its valency. In third step, this R will also migrate to this carbon, so we will get this type of structure, right? And then if we are using H2O2 in presence of NaOH, then we will get tertiary alcohol here, right? So we will get here tertiary alcohol. This is one possibility. Another possibility is if you are using water in this reaction, then what will happen? This alkyl migration will stop at this stage only, right? Means third R will not migrate, only two alkyl group will migrate. Means if you use this reaction for this oxidation, then you will get first this 3-membered ring will break, and then you will get ketone here, right? So it will give you ketone. So let's see some reaction based on this type of reaction. So in first step, we are doing hydroboration of this alkene. So we are using here hexyl borane. So what will happen? You will get this type of structure. Then in next step, I am using this alpha beta unsaturated ester. So this H will attach with this double bond. We have here also a alkene, and on this borane we have one more hydrogen, so it can further do its hydroboration reaction. So we will get this structure, right? This is very simple, that first you are doing hydroboration of this double bond, then on this borane we have one more hydrogen, so it can further reduce this double bond also, right? It can also do its hydroboration reaction, so we will get this product. Then in third step, we are using CO, carbon monoxide, in presence of water. So we know that we have three type of alkyl group attached on this borane. So there is migration of alkyl groups on carbon, right? So first we will try to form this type of structure, right? Means one alkyl group will migrate. So suppose we are taking a less bulkier type of alkyl group which will migrate first. So suppose it will migrate first. So what will happen, that in first step you will get this structure, right? In second step we have two type of alkyls which can migrate, but this hexyl will not migrate because of its hindered structure, right? Always remember that whenever you have this organoborane, this alkyl group will not migrate, only this will migrate. So when it will migrate, we have this structure, right? And then we are using this H2O2 and NaOH, so this part will be removed. At last stage we are using this, so we will directly get this ketonic group attached here. So this will be your final product. Let's see some more example, that this time we are again using same type of reagents, but we have different type of alkene here. So in this alkene we have in this molecule we have two type of double bond. This one is terminal, this one is internal. So in the starting of video we have seen that terminal alkene will participate first in reaction. So first hydroboration will be done to this alkene, right? Then in second step we have one more hydrogen on this boron, and we have double alkene also. So it will do its hydroboration also, that this part will attach here like this. Then we are using this CO in presence of H2O, right? So only two alkyl group will migrate. This will not migrate. This is your hindered structure, so it will not migrate. These two migrate and CO will be inserted here like this reaction, right? So what will happen finally, that this whole part will be removed and CO will be inserted here after the reaction of H2O2 and this NaOH. So this is your final outcome of this reaction, where you can understand here easily. Then question comes about the stereochemistry of the hydrogen attached on these two carbons. So in the starting there is no hydrogen on this carbon, we have double bond only, right? So in first step what we have, we are doing hydroboration of this carbon, right? We have this type of structure. So when we are doing hydroboration of this carbon, this double bond, this H and this B should attach on the same side, right? So if it is attaching, this hydrogen and this boron is attaching on same side, means if it is attached, suppose above the plane, so it should also attach above the plane, and hydrogen present here should go below the plane like this, right? So important point is the attachment of these two hydrogen. It should be trans to each other, right? Because it is originally present on this carbon, and this part is attached, this hydrogen and this B attached on the same side, which is opposite to this hydrogen, right? There is syn addition of this hydrogen in this boron, and it should attach on this carbon from the side opposite of this H, right? That is why these two trans to each other. So suppose it is above the plane, it will go below the plane. Then we will take last important reaction of organoboranes, that is reaction in presence of oxygen. So there is cleavage, homolytic cleavage of bonds, carbon boron bonds in this type of reactions. Suppose we have this organoborane in the starting, or you can simply write it down like R3B, right? Then we are using this oxygen. So there is homolytic cleavage of this alkyl and boron carbon, this carbon and boron bond. So we will get R3 radical here, right? And then suppose I am treating it with alpha beta unsaturated ester. Most of this time this reaction will take place in presence of this alpha beta unsaturated ester. Then we will do its hydrolysis. So there is again homolytic cleavage like this. It will combine with this carbon and you will get a radical here like this. Then we will again treat it with alkyl borane. So what will happen, you can also write it down like this, right? So this bond will shift here, it will shift here, and it will shift like this, right? So in this step you will get this one. Then you are treating it with this water H2O. So you will get enol here, which will finally form ketonic part. So the final product is that your this R3, which is from this organoborane, will attach with this alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde directly here, right? This is the final outcome of this reaction. So in this reaction, first we are treating it with this catechol borane, so we will get this one, right? Then we are treating it with this alpha beta unsaturated aldehyde in presence of oxygen, so it will directly attach with this carbon, means we will get this one, right? This is your final product. You have to simply attach this double bond with this one, so you will get this type of product. So this is all about this video. I will finish this chapter here, and in next chapter we will take some more different type of reactions. If you like my videos, please share my videos with your friends. Thank you so much for watching.